Cosmic Chaos. Chapter 11. Thanos and the Major. Thanos and the Major. This chapter of the story of Thanos and the Major is set 5 years after the events of Febarossa. The Alliance is still together, and the cosmos is still running smoothly and safely. Much friction has been going on within the Alliance governments lately, calling back for the use of Argent energy with a summit that is shortly going to be held. But the Alliance's leader is steadfast and determined. He is determined to win the hearts and minds of the people because he knows the hearts and the minds of the people is at what matters the most, and due to him not being officially elected by the people during the crisis. That he was appointed under extreme circumstances, that he feels that he hasn't completely earned his place, even though most of his governments say otherwise, and that this is his chance to prove to the people that he is the right man for the job, and he does have the people's best interests at heart. This is also his chance to finally, once and for all, address all of his governments to state once and for all on his decision, and that it will not be manipulated or changed, and that the enforcement of this decision must be enforced, and for the use of Argent energy to be never used again. Thanos has been living peacefully on his farm for 5 years now, hoarding animals as well as growing crops, developing and creating a successful intergalactic farming business. Febarossa and Major have been married for a few years now, and now have 3 children together, twin girls and a son. Febarossa and Major still serve in the Galaxies military, with Febarossa acting as an independent soldier, acting as a partner to the 6 members of the 6, and Major still being one of the members of the 6. Thanos is still one of the members of the 6, but spends most of his days running his farming business and is called into action when the time is needed, and Febarossa acting as the 6th member of the 6 when Thanos is not present. And plus, I get to keep an eye on that idiot husband of mine, Febarossa says. The Alliance Summit. The leader of the Alliance. You know what, trying to talk to these bureaucrats is like talking to a bunch of school children sometimes. No matter how many times I have told them, no freaking way, bitch, they just don't want to seem to listen. The leader of the Alliance's assistant, sir. Maybe it is the way you said it to them. Remember, sir, not every race is from Galaxies, and not every race speaks to each other that way. I don't care. No means no, no matter what way you say it, and quite frankly, I think some of them don't care either. They do not care how dangerous it is, and how much damage it could cause if there was something to go wrong. Has recent events taught them nothing? We were only using that power as a means to an end, not a permanent one. We had no other choice. The cosmos was beaten black and blue, and it needed fixing as quickly as possible. And that power at the time was the best solution that we had, but now the cosmos is fixed, and now we no longer have any need for it. The cosmos is fine. It is running stably, and if only we had no other choice, I would use that power again. It still sickens me that some bureaucrats out there seem to only care about profit and do not care how it is obtained. Fricking hell, bitch, what is it going to take for them to realize of how dangerous that power is, when everybody in the entire cosmos is ripping their own eyes and tongues out, and when they are doing it to themselves, they will finally realize, oh, maybe this was a bad idea. No amount of money in this cosmos is worth that, unless you're into that kind of thing. I can assure you nobody is into that. It is the supreme leader of the Court of Justice. The leader of the Alliance. What the fuck is happening? The leader of the Alliance's assistant, sir. I patched you through to the entire court while you were going through one of your monologues. I thought they should hear it because you probably would have forgotten most of it while we were in there. Fuck, why did you do that? I was supposed to win the hearts and the minds of the people, not be telling them that they could be possibly ripping their own eyes and tongues out. I'll be lucky if I get re-elected after this. The leader of the Supreme Court of Justice, you and your assistant may enter when ready. I am going to kill you after this, eyes and tongue style bitch. The leader of the Alliance enters into the courtroom and starts to make his way towards the podium, as he is walking past everybody. Most of them are just looking at him with surprised looks on their faces, and as to some of the parents that are there are also holding their children as they are crying from what they have just heard. The leader of the Alliance. Hello everyone. I was just joking about the whole ripping your own eyes and tongues out thing. No, I wasn't. He approaches the podium and takes his place. The Supreme Judge of Justice. All right. I guess everybody is here and not too much scared to death, okay? Is everybody ready to begin? Yes, Judge, all parties have arrived and are accounted for, and everybody is ready to begin. Good. Okay, we all know why we are here today? We are here today for the All-Alliance debate, and mostly for the possibility of the reactivation of Argent energy. Let's start with the argument from the opposing Alliance governmental officials. Alliance governments, thank you, Judge, my fellow Alliance peers, people of the Alliance and the whole cosmos. As we all know, Project Genesis finished just over 5 years ago, now ensuring the completion and security of our entire cosmos. Project Genesis. And with Project Genesis, it proved that it was a complete success and was one of the biggest reasons, if not the biggest reason, why this entire cosmos was completed in the first place, because of Argent energy. For Project Genesis to have been completed without Argent energy, it would have taken decades, if not would have been completely impossible to even start rebuilding the cosmos. But with the use of Argent energy, it made the impossible possible, and with the use of Argent energy that it only took us a few years, the cosmos has prospered since then, but we feel it could have prospered way more than it already has if we still had the use of Argent energy. It is not too late, and we can still reactivate the power of Argent energy and still use its almost unlimited amount of power to still take this cosmos beyond the boundaries of what we can even think of imagining. The use of the Argent energy will boost the prosperity of the entire cosmos by untold amounts. It is not too late. We can still expand this cosmos beyond our wildest dreams. The leader of the Alliance, you stupid bastards, if you do that, you will expand this cosmos beyond its wildest nightmares. Thank you, leader of the Alliance, your turn will come. And thank you for your argument. Okay, we already know how you feel about this, but we need to officially hear it. Now, can we please have your counter-argument? The leader of the Alliance, wow, you almost had me convinced right there as well, but no cigar, bitch. Okay, you all just heard what I just said, but for anybody who wasn't traumatized for life, here it is. I know that not everybody has forgotten this except for these morons right over there, because I know they certainly clearly have the warp. What more needs to be said? The fucking warp. Everybody remembers what it is and what it did. We have had countless amounts of victims seeking and getting therapy of the unspeakable horrors that they all went through and witnessed. We have had too many accounts of this, and the entire Alliance has not had nearly enough of its resources and manpower to get everyone properly seen to and treated, and the worst part is we have had a horrifying amount of suicides from this. They could not handle the aftermath of what has happened to them and this entire cosmos. The trauma of the civilians and the PTSD that the soldiers have suffered is on unprecedented levels, and a lot of those levels have ended in suicide, the very amazing can't do anything wrong power that you want to bring back. The very threat that it poses, and still poses, on the entire cosmos you want to bring back, and for what, to make a quick buck at the expense of all of the traumas and horrors of everyone else. Is it really worth making that quick buck? Because from where I am standing, it is not. The traumas and horrors that everybody suffered last time wasn't your fault, but this time it will be. You would have brought madness and chaos back to this cosmos just so you can make a quick buck. I hope you all can live with that. The leader of the Alliance's assistant. Yes, you stupid bastards. I mean, fellow peers, listen to what he is saying. What this power was trying to do before, and what it was capable of, was its own doing. But this time, it will be your own doing. The horrifying and destructive nature of what that power is, and that it is too unpredictable, and that is a massive understatement. I cannot begin to stress enough of the countless dangers that Argent energy possesses. If Argent energy is to again be released and reactivated into the cosmos, all I can say is that that is beyond a bad idea. Sauron reattempting to access Argent energy for his own ends, launching another campaign of conquering Middle-earth. Another rogue demon uprising, using the power of Argent energy to try and start this madness and chaos all over again. And the list goes on and on with the biggest threat of them all, the warp. We would risk starting what has happened before all over again, but this time it will not be from Sauron or those hell bitches, it will be from us. We would not be prospecting from all of this, we would be suffering from all of this, and for the safety and the security of the whole cosmos, and not meaning to repeat what our leader has just said, but the use of Argent energy must not and cannot ever be used again, and that the reopening of the warp should never be done ever again. We just simply cannot afford to take that risk. The Supreme Judge of Justice, thank you for both of your arguments. I must say both are compelling, but that is simply not good enough. We must all convene and discuss both of your arguments, and we will reconvene back in this courtroom in a few hours, and we will have an answer for you. While we discuss both of your arguments, I suggest that you all go and take a break. Food and drink is free for today, so go and grab some free food and drink while you have the chance. Everybody goes and has a long lunch break, and all of the high judges of justice go and discuss both arguments. A few hours later, all of the judges come back into the courtroom and call everyone from their lunch break to all reconvene back into the courtroom. The Supreme Judge of Justice, thank you for all coming back in. We all hoped you enjoyed. Lunch, I heard that Earth's KFC is really nice. We have all discussed from both of your arguments, and we have managed to come to a decision. We all know why we became the Alliance in the first place, because of the threat that we all faced. Undeniably, we all thought and destroyed the biggest threat that this cosmos has ever known, and we have stayed as an alliance ever since to ensure nothing like that ever happens again, and we must not ever let anything like that ever happen again. I do understand the potential of the use of Argent energy and the wealth and prosperity that it could bring to the cosmos, but at too much of a cost, the biggest cost of them all, life. If we reactivate the use of Argent energy and reopen the warp again, we will risk every single living thing that is inside of this cosmos, and that is a cost we are not willing to pay. It goes against everything that we stand for. We are here to protect the cosmos, not to put it at risk or destroy it. So we have come to the conclusion there is only one option, and the option is this. By the order of the Alliance's Senate, and by under the order of the Supreme Court of Justice, that the authorization and the reactivation of Argent energy is never to be authorized ever again, and the reopening of the warp is never to be reopened again. We are sorry to the ones who do not agree with this decision, but this decision is final. These proceedings are proceeded, and the case has been closed. This court is now adjourned. The high judges of justice have come to their final decision, and the court is now over. As to the summit continues. The Alliance governments approach the leader of the Alliance. Well, sir, we all guess you got what you wanted. No hard feelings, we hope. We only had the cosmos's best interests at heart. The leader of the Alliance. I know, but fortunately, the judge does see things the same way I do, and that we all don't do something that we might regret. The decision's final anyway, and even I cannot supersede that. But let me assure you of this. The cosmos will prosper. We just need to find another way to do it, and if we all work together, we will. Just trust me. Yes, sir, we will. The Alliance governments return back to their duties as part of the Alliance and continue with putting all of their efforts into protecting the cosmos. The leader of the Alliance. Well, that went better than we could have expected. The leader of the Alliance's assistant. What do you mean, sir? Well, for a second I thought that they were all actually going to go for it. But thankfully the judge has more common sense than they do, and agreed to see things from our perspective, because God help us if he didn't. That is why he was made the Supreme High Judge of Justice, sir. He's not a politician, he values safety over profit, and you cannot put a price on life. Well, thankfully that is how it seems to be. Is there anything else more to discuss, sir? Yes, there is, but not here. We should all go back to the Alliance's main headquarters, and we should discuss it from there. This place is swamped with news medias and to many other opposing governments, or if you so happen to broadcast it to everyone again. Are you still mad about that, sir? Yes, I am just not enough to rip your eyes and tongue out. The leader of the Alliance and his assistant returned back to the Alliance, and the global summit is now over. Back at Alliance headquarters, the leader of the Alliance's assistant. So what more things do we need to discuss, sir? The leader of the Alliance, just a few things, trust me, but they are important, especially one thing in particular that we do need to discuss as soon as possible, and the Galax military needs to be present when we discuss this as well. So, can you call them all here in for me, please? Yes, sir, I will. I shall ask for them to come in right away. The Galax military are called into the Alliance's main HQ and arrives at the leader of the Alliance's office. Galax soldiers. What does that high and mighty bureaucrat want this time? Is he not quite done yet fucking over the entire cosmos? General Phillips's. No, you pack of morons. He just saved it. It was the other high and mighty bureaucrats that almost fucked it up. Anyway, shut up, someone is coming. The leader of the Alliance's assistant. Look, I don't know what this is all about, but he needs to speak to you about a few things. You had all better go in. General Phillips, thank you, we will. Soldiers, stay out here and just don't say anything. General Phillips and his highest officers go into the Alliance's main headquarters office to see the leader of the Alliance. The leader of the Alliance, General Phillips, thank you for coming in, and thank you for all of your efforts. Lately, the Galax military has been a great help to this cosmos over the past 5 years. Actually, one of the biggest. You and Helios Prime together have really gone above and beyond, not just with your own planets, but with a lot of the other planets in this cosmos as well. I heard you both have had an alliance of your own for some years now. General Phillips is yes, for over 200 years now. The hell demons are not the only ones trying to correct their past. The leader of the Alliance. Yes, I am sorry I forgot General Mirodus. He has forever put a stain on the history of your planet. But he was not the only one. Adolf Hitler also did that to his planet as well, with that World War II. General Phillips is, yes, it's actually World War II. Alright, sorry, bitch. No worries. But yes, my planet has studied their planet ever since we have come to know of them, and it seems that our planets are not much that different at all. They have suffered as we have suffered, and it was all down to a genocidal madman. But as the Nazis were the genocidal monsters in that war, we were the genocidal monsters in ours. The Galax military, and I am not sure that helping saving the cosmos and helping in the rebuilding of it will ever make up for that. The leader of the Alliance, it will, and it already has. Your planet did help save the entire cosmos, and the cosmos has not forgotten that. Thanos has the same problem with his universe. He cannot set foot inside of it ever again, even though he was one of many that helped save this entire cosmos, just as your planet did. But just remember, just as Thanos's whole universe hates him for what he did as your planet, still hates the Galax military for what it did to your planet. The rest of the entire cosmos sees Thanos as its savior, just as the rest of the cosmos sees of your planet. The Galax military may be hated by the rest of its own people, but it is not hated by the rest of the cosmos to the rest of the cosmos. It sees the Galax military exactly the same as it sees Thanos, its savior. General Phillips, thank you, sir. The Galax military will try to remember that. So anyway, sir, what is it that you need to discuss with us? The leader of the Alliance. Oh yeah, right. My scientists were on a routine research mission and have just made an unexpected and alarming discovery. What discovery is that, sir? Well, it's better if you hear it from my scientists themselves. All right, we're ready. Send them in. The scientists are called into and enter the Alliance's HQ room. General Phillips. Okay, what is it you all need to tell all of us? Alliance scientists, sir, we were making our routine research into the warp and all of its properties, specifically Argent Energy and the Hell Demons ECT, and it was while we were researching into these properties that we all made an alarming discovery. What discovery? What have you found? Well, sir, it's about the Major. What about him? What about the Major? Well, there is no other way to put this. We think that we may have discovered who he really is. What are you talking about? He's the Major. He's a fucking moron. Yes, sir, we know he is, but that was not always the case. In shortest terms, when the Major first joined the Galax military, you know every new member that joins the Galax military is immediately put through a series of tests. One of those is a blood test, and it is from that blood test that we have from your own Galax military medical records that Major's blood test came up unknown. One of the other tests that you ran on everybody, including him, was a personal informations test, you asking them all about themselves, and you asking them to tell you all about themselves and their life's histories. Major's history also came up unknown. He was not able to tell you anything about himself or where he was from. He did not even know his own name. He had absolutely no knowledge of his own existence. Your own scientists coming to the conclusion that he has total amnesia, and that he has just not the normal kind of amnesia as well, not the normal kind you would expect. He has absolutely no memories of his former life, and not just that he does not remember who he does not even remember what he is, but this is the part that is particularly alarming, the blood test. When the Galax military scientist did the blood test on the Major and still has everyone's blood tests on record, we were able to get our hands on those records and was able to immediately start with our own analyzing of that blood from the blood tests, and that is where we made the shocking discovery. General Phillips is what shocking discovery? What have you found? Sir, the blood and the DNA from what originates inside of the Hell Demons is exactly the same blood and DNA that originates inside of the Major. What do you mean that they are exactly the same? It's exactly what I am saying. Sir, the Hell Demon's blood and DNA is exactly the same as the Major's. Jesus fucking Christ, that means he's... Yes, sir, the Major is one of them. He is a Hell Demon straight from hell. No, that cannot be, bitch. How can that be? We're not completely sure, sir, but if we have all of the information that we have that is correct from what we have managed to gather, is that exactly 5 years before the events of the warp started to even happen, is that Major was once one of the demon generals of hell, and from what we have managed to gather from the old demon texts, and that we have just made extensive research into, is that he was not just any old demon general of hell. He was the demon general of hell. He was Lucifer's right-hand man himself. He was Lucifer's most trusted and loyal soldier in all of hell, and through events that we are not completely sure about, but it looks like that they came to some sort of a disagreement, and that those events led them both to go to war with each other. And it was through those events and that war that Major somehow was sent here and became the man who we know him as today. The Major, the leader of the Alliance. My God, this entire time there was always one among us. This entire time shit. General Phillips. How many people know about this? Nobody, sir, only the people in this room. I need you all to listen to me very, very carefully. Yes, sir, we are listening. He must never know of this. Are you listening to me? You must under no circumstances whatsoever ever tell the Major who he really is, not his wife, not his children, not anybody. Do all understand? Yes, sir, we understand you. This information does not leave this room, is that clear? He must never find out who he really is. If he does, who knows what the fuck is going to happen next. Okay, I am right now ordering you all to bring me all of the information that you have on the Major right now. I am effectively immediately classifying all of this information as code black. Bring it all to the Alliance immediately. Only the people in this room will ever have access to it. Is that understood? Yes, sir. That is understood. The Alliance's scientists all immediately turn over all information and documents about the Major straight over to General Phillips, and that this information has just been classified as code black, and that they are never to speak to anybody about this ever again. The leader of the Alliance and General Phillips. So what threat does the Major actually pose upon us? Oh, absolutely none, sir. What do you mean? Alliance scientists when Draxius. The leader of the Alliance and General Phillips, who is Draxius. Oh, that was his name. When he was a demon. When Draxius was sent here, he was hit with an amnesia blast by the 4 demons of hell, which caused him to lose all of his memories, but with the amnesia blast blasting him through, The warp, with both powers combined, sent him hurtling through space, sending him to the planet of Galaxies, and with the results of that amnesia blast, it changed who he was to who he is now forever. His DNA is still the same as the Hell demons. His DNA cannot be changed. It is part of who he is. But everything else about him has changed. His biological form, his physiology, his mentality, everything, but most importantly, his humanity. And that is why he is not a monster right now. It is the four guardians of light. The leader of the Alliance. Yeah, I am not even going to ask how you people even get in here anymore. You're all sneaky ninja bitches. I need to upgrade my security. So anyway, what do you mean by he is not a monster right now? We do not know if you are aware of this, but we are not the first guardians of light. They are. The leader of the Alliance, who are the four demons of hell. What? The four demons of hell were the first four original guardians of light before existence was even created, and they, with the devil himself, Lucifer, all rebelled against God, and they were all casted down from heaven into hell for their rebellion and insurrection. But they were all archangels of heaven once, and from being that none of them, including Lucifer, are completely evil, they still have some of the power of light left inside of them. Their humanity, and through that so does the Major. Draxius was a hell demon general of hell, and just like any other demon, he was completely evil, because any condemned soul that enters into hell is created by the powers of the dark, and from that power they all became completely evil. But Lucifer and the four demons of hell are not completely evil. They still have some of their humanity that is still left inside of them. So when the four demons of hell hit Draxius with their amnesia blast, they unwittingly put some of their humanity into him, just enough not for him to be a monster. And as General Phillips has just put it, a fucking moron of a man that you all know today, the leader of the Alliance. I just have one question for you. Is the Major still a hell demon? Yes and no. General Phillips, that's not very helpful. Is he or is he not a threat to us? To answer your question, we do not believe he is a threat to anyone, but he is still a hell demon, and he is not at the same time. To tell you the truth, we do not know who or what he really is. We have never come across anyone like this before. He is the first of his kind, a hell demon and a human at the same time. Even if that part of him is human, he just looks like one. He is still a hell demon, just not 100% completely one. He has what no other hell demon has, humanity, and it is through that humanity he is just like anyone else, you. The leader of the Alliance, me, anybody else, because we all have humanity inside of us. Everybody has the light and the dark inside of them, and now so does he, and it will remain that way forever. He is Draxius, but he will not fully be Draxius ever again, because he now has the light and dark side of him just like anybody else. He is what people only know themselves as to be, only being human. The leader of the Alliance's assistant. Yeah, a 10-foot-tall enhanced human, you telling me that's not dangerous enough? Okay, maybe he's not the super-duper evil hell demon anymore that you are talking about, but he is still dangerous. All of the enhanced humans are, but they're not freaking hell demons like him. Okay, maybe he's not all evil anymore, but I am telling you he is still dangerous. General Phillips, yes, he is right. He may be just like anyone else now, but he is still an enhanced human, and that still makes him dangerous, so we need to figure out what to do next. The leader of the Alliance, okay, that is good news, but we do know what to do next. We stick to the original plan. We play it on the safe side, and we are ready for anything if that time should ever arise. We still go with our original plan, and he must never find out who he really is. What he doesn't know wouldn't hurt him, and especially us. We stick to the original plan, and everyone in this room makes sure he never finds out. Who he really is that understood? Yes, sir, that is understood. The leader of the Alliance Guardians of Light. I know what you have just told us, but General Phillips, I do hate to ask you of this, but if for any chance, could there be a possibility that Major could become this Draxius character again? And do you think that you would be able to destroy him? Do you think you have the capabilities and the manpower to destroy him? General Phillips, I am sorry, sir. It is too early to tell. The Guardians of Light. No, you will not. Draxus cannot be killed or destroyed. He is almost as powerful as Lucifer himself and us, and it would be impossible for anyone to destroy him, but that is not the end of everything. Just like Lucifer and us, he can be contained and quarantined forever. That is the best and the only way that anybody could be kept safe. The leader of the Alliance, and we know exactly who those somebodies are. The leader of the Alliance's assistant, do we, sir? The leader of the Alliance and General Phillips is, yes, Dr. Strange and Dr. Fate. They can't kill him, but they can lock his ass up forever. That is how we will do it. If he ever becomes this Draxus bitch again, we throw his bitch ass in jail and throw away the key. The Guardians of Light, and we will help you do it as well. We will help them do it. We are sure that Dr. Strange and Dr. Fate will have what it takes to do it, but just to be on the safe side, we will take him down as well. We will, as you said, lock his ass up forever. The leader of the Alliance, unfucking believable. This entire time he was one of them, but thank you, that does put my mind at ease, so we can count on you if the time should ever arise. The Guardians of Light, you know you can, but we must go now. We will speak to Dr. Strange and Dr. Fate about this matter, and make sure they are ready if the time should ever arise. Farewell and good luck. The Guardians of Light leave the leader of the Alliance's office. The leader of the Alliance. I'm sorry, I just cannot wrap my head around this. Can you believe a hell demon was under our very noses this entire time? Those sneaky hell bitches. General Phillips, well, sir, to be completely fair, neither did he and neither did they. What do you mean? It was all completely unintentional. Yes, the 4 demons of hell meant to blast Draxus with that amnesia blast, but they probably thought that that was all to just wipe all of his memories. They probably did not know that it would have done everything else, turning him into the very man that we all know today. You mean the fucking moron that we all know today? Yes, that one. They accidentally did it through their humanity. They accidentally put some of it into him, stupid, sneaky hell bitches. Yes, you're right, they accidentally did all of us a favor there, because God knows what would have happened if he came to your planet as Draxus. General Phillips, we would have taken him down. I just don't know how the fuck we would have done it. You would have thought of something, but the whole amnesia thing was the best thing that could have happened to all of us. But it is still messed up, though. The leader of the Alliance's assistant. Yes, sir, it is, but can you really blame someone for something like this? He does not know who he really is, or any of the things that he has done when he was Draxus. Someone that isn't even that someone anymore. Can you really blame someone for that? Is it right for anyone to go after someone who doesn't even know what they have done or who they really are anymore? General Phillips, he has a point there. To be fair, I guess not, but he is still who he is, and we must never forget that. We cannot afford to take any chances, even if it is not really his fault. We must lock him up forever, if there is any chance of him becoming who he is again. The leader of the Alliance. Yes, I agree, he's too stupid now to be that dangerous anyway, but if he is, his ass goes to jail. The Alliance agrees not to engage themselves upon the Major, but do agree from this day forward that he must never find out who he really was. The leader of the Alliance. You mentioned we have a few matters to discuss, so what other matters do we need to discuss? The leader of the Alliance's assistant. Really, sir, I thought you said that we have got a few things to discuss. Oh, yeah, what the fuck, who cares? But anyway, sorry, just hang on for a second. General Phillips, thank you for your time. That is what I needed you all to come in for, so we can count on you in the future if he should ever become a problem. General Phillips he is all of our problems, so yes, we will be there, but luckily, so will the Guardians of Light as well. Thank you, I shall be going now. General Phillips takes his soldiers and leaves the leader of the Alliance's office. Sorry about that. So what other matters do we need to discuss? Sir, we have just received reports that there seems to be a lot of civil unrest coming from one of our neighboring planets. Some sort of an uprising is happening with lots of rebellion and riots. We have contacted and have sent Thanos to that planet using his farming business as a cover, but we have had no radio contact from him since, and we suspect that he has been captured or possibly has been killed by rioters or rebels. We were going to send in the Major to extract him, but now maybe that is not a good idea, and maybe we should send someone else instead. No, send him anyway. We carry on as normal like this conversation never happened. We do not want to act out of the ordinary, and they are best friends anyway. He should be the one to go. Send him in. Yes, sir. There's only one more thing that we need to discuss. And what is that? Feberosa. Oh shit, his wife. I totally forgot about her. What about Feberosa? Do you think that it is wise that we keep her in the dark about all of this, not telling her anything about this? She is his wife, not to mention the former Queen of Hell. We could have another problem if we do not tell her. A massive problem. She should know about all of this, and who knows what trouble it could cause if we do not tell her. But she already knows. Whoa, what the fuck, you have been here this entire time, standing there in the shadows. It's Feberosa. Yes, I have, and I suspected you knew what the scientists have just found out, and I needed to be here myself to confirm it for myself, and I suspected correct. So my husband used to be a demon of hell. Well, that explains a lot. The leader of the Alliance. What do you mean? I know we all went through the enhanced human program, but he was practically an enhanced human before we even had the treatment. I had an early taste of it myself back when I was in the Sisters of Blades, so I knew the effects of the treatment, but he did not, which I could never put my finger on. Until now, he is one of them. And how do you feel about that? He is my husband, but I do agree he should never find out who he really is. But if it ever comes to it, I will be the one to imprison him. He is my husband and the father of my children. I will be the one to do it, not you. Agreed? Yes, agreed. But you must know he cannot be killed. Yes, I know, but I will be the one to do it. I will lock his ass up and throw away the key. Feberosa and the leader of the Alliance agree to this, and Feberosa carries on with her duties as to the Major is sent to the planet that Thanos has just been sent to extract him.